Hello, Warriors. Last trading week of the year. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm making my plans for 2022. And I want to make some major forecasts and calls as well as actionable ideas for next year. If you have to trade this week, I suggest maybe you go to your FA meeting. If you don't know what the FA stands for, is Forex Anonymous. At first, you wanted to trade, and now you can't stop. You can't stop. So we're going to have pretty thin conditions here. And, you know, when you look at, say, for example, let me move this out of the way. The 1 hour chart in Euro, it's a mess, isn't it? And, you know, last week I was saying I thought there was a chance to rally back towards 114. That could still happen. But what I really want to concentrate on is what I'm looking for next year. So we have to use our telescope for this. So here's your daily chart. Whether or not we rally to 114 or not is incidental to me. If you have to trade, I'd rather have you short the Aussie. I'll show you that in a minute. But after this rally, if we get one, and this is going to be commensurate with the 97.50 Dixie 98 level I've been talking about for ad nauseum about 2 months. I think that we're going to complete a lot of these moves during the month of January. One of my tells is what's happening in US dollar yen today. But what I'm going to be looking for is a major buying opportunity and campaign type trade in the euro for a low. And I'm going to be looking for about 110.50. I just want to show you guys something that's very important. So here's your monthly, right? What do we have here? We have an inside month, right? This month is inside of the trading range that we had prior in November. Weekly, you're getting a lot of inside weeks as well, but this is what's important about a monthly. And I don't think we're going to take out the high of the range of last month. Maybe we in the next 4 days we could take out the lows, but I don't think we're going to take out the highs. But I'd prefer for it to just be this type of candle inside this range. And what I'll be looking for in next month in January would be for the euro to take out this month's low, which is currently at the, what's the low there? 112.21 is the low. And last month's low was 111.86. So I'm looking for about 110.50. Where does this channel line come in? Looks like right there around 110.32, 110.50. So the most bullish thing the euro could do next month is take out this month's low, last month's low, trade under the big round number of 111, trade like 10.5 or so. And then by the end of January, it's taking out this month's high, which is currently 113.60 in January, and close above here and have an outside candle to the upside. And that would be a pretty good signal, technical signal, that the euro is turning back up. When you look at this trend line right here, it goes all the way back to 2008. So you're talking about a 13-year downtrend that the euro broke out of in 2020, and we're coming back and retesting it. This is really, I think, going to be a great long opportunity in euro, and that's one thing I want to prepare you with. Most fiat is, in my view, is going to appreciate against the US dollar. I don't know about the Turkish lira and some emerging market, but the majors will. So next we go to cable. So looking at cable right here, let's just narrow it in a little bit. I'm using this platform, so I have to get used to this. Let's zoom out a little bit, zoom in. Okay. So last week I said I thought we could get to possibly 135. You know, we're not there yet. Could still happen this week. But then I'm looking for one more flush that could take us down towards this 129 level right here, 128, 129. Perhaps I'll just insert my target there. Let's put a horizontal line. Let's call it right here at 29. And let's see if that target is achieved next month. Looks like we're on our way to 135 first. Okay, and looking at euro pound's still looking pretty negative here. In fact, if you look at it now, we could be setting up for a third drive to a bottom. Here's one, here's two. New lows under 83.80 would be a nice formation to try and capitalize that. Look at how we're diverging and compressing here. And if I'm right, on the next break in the dollar and rally in euro's going to outperform cable. So we'll see what happens at new lows. EG may give us the first indication of the turn, maybe around 83-ish, something like that. So this too could be a nice trade for 2022 long positions in euro pound. So that's my take there. I think that what's happening here is very important in US dollar yen. So again, we have the potential for a third drive to a top up here. Here's one, here's two, and three. And why is this important to me? I think, you know, that the correlation between US dollar yen and rates is one you have to keep an eye on. I don't have the 10-year on this platform, but they're not doing much with US dollar yen strength. Sentiment in the yen is pretty bearish, and I'm sure it's going to be even more bearish up around the 116 level. I expect this to be a major high. This should take a lot of the pressure off precious metals if we enter a bear market in US dollar yen. I think strength in US dollar yen has been a headwind for precious metals, and I'll be looking for major short positions in the yen up around the 116 level. And I think we could have big breaks. So here's your weekly, here's one, here's two, here's three. Why not back to 110 immediately? And then 104, I'm actually looking for sub par in the end during 2022. I think we're going to have a big bear market in that. Normally, that would imply lower rates, right? So we're going to have to see. I'm going to trade the formation and trade the US dollar yen like it's its own individual entity and forget about correlations. Although in the back of my mind, I think a bear market in US dollar yen is going to be highly supportive and jet fuel for precious metals in 2022. So just like the currencies, you know, I'll get to the metals in a minute, but if you wanted to trade the dollar for one more rally high for the Dixie when it gets up towards 97, 98, the Aussie would be my candidate. I thought we could get to 72.60, but here's another teaching moment, and let's see if my RSI theory that when price and momentum confirm together, normally that is not the low. It could be a low, just like it is right now, for maybe some type of corrective pattern up here. And, you know, you could probably look for shorts around 60, 70 and risk 100 pips. And just simple arithmetics on this, I think we could trade at 68 cents sometime next year. This looks like a 1, a 2, and, you know, we could end up with a 3 here as well. Why don't we just draw this in? So I haven't been on an MT4 for a while. So let's just see what happens here. It'll be here and here. Okay, So let's see if this line comes in. It's going to be under 69, I believe. Oh, right above 69. I think that we could see 68.5 or so, but there's more room for Aussie to fall than, say, for example, Euro. Cable could be a good short down to that 129 level as well. So now I want to break down the precious metals, and here's the gold chart. And last week I said we could rally to 1830-ish. We could still do that. Dollar weakens a little bit, still possible. But these are the zones I'm going to start looking for longs in gold around the 1730 level in the coming weeks, right here. And I'm going to be wrong. You always have to know where you're wrong. You know, you could always go with a tighter stop, but I think 1720 is even possible. This has to be your bull bear line in gold. We take out this 1680 level, we're going to 1500 minimum. But I'm expecting gold to hold here, and we'll be looking for long positions in the miners as well. So that's my call on gold, looking for one more break. I think a lot of the miners are as well. They would diverge with one more low. And then taking a look at silver. Silver is a preferred long, and I have a couple of trend lines that intersect here, as well as a 200-week moving average down around the 19.5 level, and a speed line wedge breakout line at 2050. So between here and here, and I'll be looking at where the metals are at when the yen's trading at 116 and the dollar index is trading at 98. And I have a challenge for everyone hearing my voice right now. Is, you know, it's great to make a forecast. It's better to make the trade. But have you ever been on a campaign? Have you ever had campaign trades where you think that the inflection point can last at least a quarter? Okay, for me, that's a long time, a 3-month hold. So if you want to join me for campaign trades on what I've just described, you have to come into our platform at TradeGate Hub, because you're missing ideas that are being posted here outside of our live streams. And collaborate. Let's have a mastermind to help each other trade around our core positions. And a campaign trade means that you put on a position and you hold it until completion of potential upside objectives. You trade around it, you add on to it, but you don't get flat. So, you know, I think there could be a major move in silver to $38. And I think gold's going to at least check its high at 2100. And I think euro could come back to at least 130. And Aussie could rally back to 80 cents from 68. And the yen could break from 116 to par. So these are big moves. I suggest you recharge your battery and get ready for some campaign trades that are going to begin in the month of January. I believe that inside month in the euro that I showed you is really going to be a tell. We have a lot of tells that are going to tell us if things are lining up. And keep an eye on that 97.60 to 98.10 level in the Dixie. I'll be here with Mike tomorrow. We're going to talk about the Santa Claus rally, something that I believe that you guys are going to be paying attention to changes of season from now on, because for 2 weeks I said the winter solstice, the 21st, would be a big day, and it was a big day. It was the day the market turned from looking like it was going to break down at 45.50 to within by Friday retesting all-time highs at 47.40. So it's possible that that's a green light for the market, but I'm neutral. I'm going to stay focused on this. I think the S&Ps, there'll be trades on the short side, maybe from about 48.80, 4900, maybe even back to 4500, and then another blow. I think that you could pretty much be long the world if I'm right about the dollar, because everything will appreciate, at least in nominal terms. And this is what's going to force the Fed's hand. Gold approaching 2,000. If you think there's inflation talk now, what do you think is going to happen? This is happening with a stable, steady to strong dollar. What do you think inflation is going to look like with the dollar selling off 10, 20, 30%? So I rest my case. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Michael will be on in about an hour and 16 minutes. I'll be joining Michael tomorrow, and then I'll give you an update on my 2022 forecast Wednesday. And then we're joined by Forex Live's own Adam Button. Adam's going to take us through his January seasonals on Thursday, and also a look into 2022. Trade safely, trade well, less margin, wider stops, and I'll be seeing you with Mike tomorrow. And remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. This is Coach at TradeGateHub.com saying good hunting.